2 cups of coffee. Break time's over. Back to the project at hand. What I'm doing is setting these babbitt bearings right. This is the 1.5 horsepower McCormick Deering M. These are the rod bearings, babbitt. To explain this in a way that we might understand it, in these McCormick Deering made by International Harvester Model M engines, the babbitt bearings are replaceable. A lot of engines had a poured babbitt bearing, and this is the 2 halves. They are identical on each side. The top bearing will have a grease hole in it, and the bottom bearing does not have. And I stress that because I have actually purchased auction sale engines that had this bearing in the top. It was getting no grease whatsoever. I just mentioned that. And you most of the time you cannot get these mixed up. I'll show you. But let me bring something to your attention. This bearing right here is it's pretty much worn beyond use, and it's readily apparent because the grease valley is worn completely away. It's very faint, very faint. On the bottom and the top. The top's a little bit better. That would probably be usable combined with another good half. The reason I brought this out, this particular one here, is to show you the amount of wire in this flywheel, maybe flywheel alignment distance, the side gap on your flywheels. You know, they should not be tight against this, but they shouldn't be loose either. If you have side play on your flywheels, if you have an engine of any kind, and you can get a hold of the flywheel sideways and move it backwards and forwards sideways, then the way to fix that is to loosen up the gib key or the set screw, and then push your flywheels closer together and tighten them back up. And in the M's, if you do have wire and the flywheels gets looser, that adjustment, then it will pound away, or even lack of grease will also cause this. Running in dirty conditions will cause this. But you can see that is worn. If you put a measure on it right there, that's a good 1/16 of an inch deep. Now, and the reason I'm making a point of this, this is quite important. This is the flywheel center on the governor side of the engine. The governor collar and the yoke, and this bushing, once you get it in the housing, and we will assemble this. I'm going to put this under the IHC series of just talking about stuff. But when we get to the baling wire engine, I will just kind of go through this quickly, and we'll get that baling wire engine put together. But all of this right here is in conjunction with that. You should kind of do the research, you know, book learning and questions, but the other side will be perfectly smooth, where this is a spacer that could be removed to install the gear that run real low speed pulley. But the side that this is on will very seldom be worn like this. So you want to take that off. You can put these in the lathe securely and face that off straight across as this is. Now, if by chance you came upon one like this and this has been thrown in a box, let's say at the flea market, you bring it home and you clean it up, and it's got a nick, a high place right there, quite high. In order to set that right, if you install this, if you put this on the engine as is, and you put this up here like that right there, then immediately that high place, after you run the engine for a few minutes, is going to wear away and you'll have looseness right here. That's what I'm talking about, the looseness. Also, if you put this right here on the engine with this primer on here, and then if you paint it, you add more distance to that, and that wears away quite quickly. So you do want to set that correct, and the easiest way is to just take a file. Okay, just 3 strokes of the file and that's gone. That's perfectly flat. That's ready to use. And also on the spacer, then whatever means that you would use to remove the paint on both mating surfaces, even to the point of putting a little thinner on there and removing that even more. But that right there, we're down to metal, so that would be the correct way to do that. And it's quite important for an engine that will start on the 3rd turn of the flywheels after a rebuild. This is the kind of stuff that translates into a easy, good starting engine. And what I have been doing this morning, I need about 4 sets of these at this present time. So what I have been doing this morning, and this is a bearing scraper. It's a babbitt bearing scraper, and this is actually a newer model. The older model bearing scrapers, and you can still buy them, they're still available. It does have a what do they call that? Maybe a razor. It's got an indent right there, a little hollow place in the middle right there. This one happens to be straight across, and if you put it's a 3-cornered thing, and if you put the angle on there, it comes out to be 60 degrees, and that works really nice. And the roundness right there, in scraping a bearing, the roundness will just take away a very fine shaving, and this does need to be at a very razor sharp hone. That needs to be really good. This is 2 sizes here, and that does regulate in what size. But you see that little shaving there just come off there ever such a little light. And these are, you can actually do machine weighs and other uses for these, but they are babbitt bearing. But you just see that, and you want to take ever such a little bit of material away, as if you have a little piece of metal embedded in that bearing that you took out of this engine and put in that engine, then that little hard place right there will wear a ring on your, and it's got a dull finish on it there, which in order to give it a new surface to wear into. But when you scrape those, you usually can, just by feel, you usually can tell if there's a little something that needs to be removed. And if you do have a problem there, you actually can dig. You can dig it out and get it gone. You actually can have a little low place right here in that bearing, and it will not suffer for that. Just don't want no high places, and you don't want to take too much away. They're they don't have no metal to spare. But you just keep doing this, and now and this is not a how to do video, and I'm not going to do one on bearing scraping. Look it up. There is ample enough information out there, and if you're going to do this, you should educate yourself. It's in the book. When I say it's in the book, someone left a comment as to question which book, And it's a multitude of books. It's not just one. It's whatever you are going to work on at the time. And I'm not on no soapbox today. It's just purely a leisure day here at the shop, believe me. But the information is there, and any subject that you're going to work on and you do not know as much as you can know about that, then you need to get the book on that subject. The other alternative of this scraper, or the, let's say, antique model, is a utility knife with the half round blade in it right there, and that's a pretty decent angle. And you also can scrape these smaller bearings, and you see that, just roll that little shaving off right there. You probably can't see it on the camera, but you just want to take off just enough to where you come to bright metal. And even if you read and study about it, at some point you'll get to where you will like the look of that little hatch pattern when you get done with it right there. You know, at some point you actually can do a real good job on it. But see, there's something right there, a little hard place. Could be a little nick of rust. Yeah. But this is the one that's worn out, so I'm not wasting any time on that. But this is a good alternative on a small bearing to set it right. Do the homework. Let's see, where was, to make the point where these bushings, I said it don't matter, you can't get them mixed up. Well, most of the time you cannot, because when you line them up, when you pick two of them up and line them up, you can readily see that those two did not match in wherever position they was at before. Okay, and these two here, you can see that they did not either. So just by simple deductions, this one would matched up. Well, let's see that one. Now let's try this one. Okay, let's see there? It was right. This is correct right here. The wire pattern is the same distance from here to there, here to there. And this particular one here had a very deep wire on this flange right here, and I have took some of it down, but not enough. I will go ahead and take this down to where it's bright metal. And to confirm that, if you put these two together, then you can see that the wire ring matches up. So they go together. And that's about all about these bearings. That's about it.